If you had money in the stock market on November the 6th and you just left it there, the US stock market, and you did nothing, and you cashed out, let's say around November the 8th, I would swear you probably had one of the greatest days of your life in terms of an investment. But what happened on November 7th? Hmm. Oh, yes, the election of Donald Trump. That's right. On November the 8th, Donald Trump was elected president of the United States officially at 2 something in the morning. And on that day, the stock market went up like a rocket ship. What the heck happened? What did the stock market know? What did the stock market anticipate that people are still poo pooing? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rat Network. I am David Solomon. He is Stuart Brisgell. We are the Rant Network, where we bring you unedited, uncensored, unfiltered, on everything conversations about a wide variety of topics, which includes latest news, pop culture, politics, so much more, including we're going to get into money today, something we haven't really talked about in quite a long time. Okay, this is all about the absurdity of modern life, discussions about the deeper issues affecting society. Folks, buckle up, because we're not going to give you a financial lesson. We're just going to talk about a reflection of what has gone on since November the 7th. Now, for those of you who do not invest, or for those of you who weren't really paying attention, which was a little bit surprising, last week, as we know, Donald Trump was elected president of the United States, president 47. And what ends up happening is that the stock market has the greatest day of growth in its history. The S&P in one day, 2.5% up. That's remarkable in one day. People don't do that in a year. The market did it in one day. Now, you will have media pundits who will tell you that the stock market has nothing to do with presidential elections. That's a bunch of bull, okay? Because the stock market reacts to politics, to political trends, but more importantly, what is coming up in the future. Stuart, you by trade are a financial advisor. You help people with their money. We're not here to give stock tips today. We're not here to talk about, where to invest. But the question is, why did the market react the way it did?
That's a great question, David. The market reaction was primarily driven by investor optimism about Trump's proposed economic policies. His policies are promises of tax cuts, deregulation, and infrastructure spending, created a surge of confidence, particularly amongst business investors. You got to understand that in the world of finance, a Democrat and a Republican both make the same amount of money and lose the same amount of money based off of what happens. And I know a lot of very happy Democrats leading up to November the 4th, because the drive and the push and the numbers, if you really study the numbers, you would understand that the prediction of Donald Trump winning was on the wall in the weeks leading to it. Financial industry saw a sharp uptick. Deregulation favors banks and manufacturing. Energy stocks rally because interest rates are going down. They're the most leveraged organization on the market. He indicated he would roll back environmental regulations. That promotes what? Fossil fuels. He said he would remove the tax credit from EVs. Well, that means the money isn't being spent there, which means it's not coming out of your pocket. Also, additionally, small cap stock like the Russell outperformed because they stood to benefit most from domestic focused tax cuts. There was some uncertainty, and there is definitely going to be some uncertainty going forward. And what we saw happen in 2016 doesn't mean it's going to happen in 2025. So again, this is a push in the market. It's optimistic, and we're going to call the term a Trump rally. But again, there's a lot of corrections that have to occur. And these corrections are going to have pullbacks and setbacks because, unfortunately, you already hear King Jeffries trying to obstruct the Republican push. If the majority of the country wants change, why do people want to insist no change? The market loves the fact that there is going to be a push for domestic manufacturing that increases jobs, increases spending. By keeping more money in America and not shipping our dollars, like petrodollars, out to other countries, we're financing ourselves and not financing other countries. People don't get it. The clear air, the clean land. Listen, these are true statements. No one wants a polluted country. However, the world is one. So what you air pollute in China, it affects you here at home, whether home is in Montreal or whether home is in United States. The Federal Reserve is now acting after being stubborn on cutting interest rates. And, there's a lot of thought that the Fed seems to interfere more and not resolve problems because, the free markets have a way of correcting themselves. And in the last rush from 2016, the little guy made the most in history. Believe it or not the big guy. The big guy makes money no matter what. Large numbers, they can take more risk. But the little guy made money. In the green room, David, you mentioned the word Bitcoin or coins in general, digital currency. This is an anarchist instrument, and that's soared as well. I'd say not so much that Donald Trump is in office, but the instabilities that are going to be created as a result of law and order and accountability on a world stage. Countries like Venezuela, Iraq, Iran, India, Pakistan, Russia are all on notice. China. And people are going to move assets to locations that they feel are safe. Again, digital currency isn't a store of value by definition. It fluctuates 30%. Now, David told me, and I promised him I would not be a teacher today and try and give you what I feel about this. You got to be prudent. It's the end of the year. It is the biggest, as you said, bull in history, right? In a single action. That means people are likely to take profits off the market, which will give the impression of possibly a pump and dump. The market is blowing up. People are going to want to take money off the table. Look at Warren Buffett. He cleared the fence of how much money leading up to the election and went, 50% into cash based off of his last filings. So that money's going to be deployed somewhere. I would betting on a U.S. company and U.S. manufacturing might be a strong bet. But don't cut out what's going to happen with Europe and the wars that are looming throughout Europe. As much as the left would have you believe that Putin is Donald Trump is Putin's puppet, don't fall for the narrative. The narratives aren't going to treat you well. They never do. And it's sad to say that you shouldn't take risks that you're not able to take. Be long in the market. Don't be short-sighted. Look at what we have to gain by being more united than we are being more divided. At the end of the day, David, we are all Americans or we're all Canadians. We're all members of the world. If the United States gets a cold, Canada gets pneumonia, I'm sorry to say. And in history, only twice before has that statement not been true. And that was just as Donald Trump, when we saw the currency rise above the U.S. dollar and going back into the 70s, I think it eclipsed the dollar for a day or two. But David, there's a little brief step, not really political banter, more finance. Again, those Democrats and those Republicans loved what their 401k looked like on November the 5th. And you know what? They seem to still be liking it because today, the market's taking a bit of a break. We're coming up to a holiday week here in the United States called Thanksgiving, and that normally peters things down. But again, pay attention. People start in Thanksgiving adjusting their portfolios to capture their losses or try and sell their gains for tax purposes. So again, What happened the last 2 weeks may not continue. Remember, be smart with your money. David?
Thank you for that infomercial, my friend. But listen, guys, I don't know if you caught this, but it's late October. There was a letter sent out by 23 prominent economists, ladies and gentlemen, that said that the Harris economic plan was way better for America than what Donald Trump said. Their claim was that at the time that the Trump's tariffs and tax policies were inflationary and likely to balloon the federal deficit. Now, I find that ironic considering that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden did exactly that. You will see that there is the Democrats have took a victory lap by saying, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Look at the stock market. The stock market is a Joe Biden, a result, because Joe Biden, his policies made the stock market grow. Well, if the political people want to tell you that, then what do you say about the Trump effect? So I'm not saying that they're right or they're wrong, but you can't talk from both ends of your mouth here. So either is it a Trump effect or is it net Harris effect that she lost? Listen, I know that he is a big pusher of, he wants to push tariffs. And these economists are saying if you slap tariffs, we will have crazy inflation. And I get that. And I understand that that's what's going to happen. But let's be very clear. Chinese manufacturing, Chinese have come in and have literally, yes, cuts costs you for sure. But look at the number of jobs lost, Stuart, because of this kind of manufacturing, the manufacturing departure. Look at the fact that the United States is falling behind in many different areas, not only manufacturing, but technology and whatever. We like to pat ourselves on the back saying we're great at AI. Take a look at China, folks. Please take a look at China. Okay, the Indian threat of economics. Stuart, you were bang on with what you were saying in terms of we need to pay attention outside of our doors. We can't. We're sitting here looking very much inside our home and saying, "This is the bubble." No. It's not a bubble. What Donald Trump is telling the world in a message is, be prepared for a new sheriff in town, not the old sheriff of 2017. It's a new sheriff of 2025, and he's coming in to say, "I want to make business in America better." Now, you could come into the United States, and what people who understand this see is that the world now has a new opportunity to invest in America. Americans have a great opportunity to invest in the United States. There is a business-minded president who wants to grow the economy. Now, he offered tax cuts for tips. And those same economists said, that's a terrible idea. It's inflationary. Harris copied the damn thing. So, you're asking yourself, what was what were these economists all Donald Trump haters and they needed to figure it out something? Sure, probably. I'm just giving you my opinion. I don't know. But what I saw over this election was tremendous politicking over who's right, who's wrong. But Trump's idea is to abolish tax on tips, overtime, Social Security benefits. And he says, it's going to cost the economy trillions. Stuart, he put up the Department of Government Efficiency, putting Vivek Ramaswamy and his buddy Elon Musk to go in to clean up shop. That message that he's driving through the election had to have had an effect on investors, had to have had an effect on people going, oh, wow, we are going to be business first. We are going to put America first. And I think that's what the stock market reacted to last week. Now, you're right. Market goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. We know there's volatility. It's never consistent. Okay. And you're right. People will sell off between now and Christmas time for tax purposes and whatever. And there will be a drop in the market. Absolutely. There'll be a correction. And they call it that. But reality is that down the first couple of days of Trump's election, his win, the nominations, the people, and so on and so forth, sent a clear message, Stuart, that Donald Trump is putting America first as a business, not as a country, as a business. And I think people love that idea. Stuart, I don't know how you feel as we wrap up this week, this Friday episode, but what do you think? If you could look at your crystal ball, my friend, into 2025, and you're saying, wow, if I'm an investor, should I be happy right now?
As it is illegal to look into a crystal ball as a financial advisor, I will play with my magnetic marbles. And the one thing that I will tell you, it's very interesting about magnetic marbles. They're all together. And I got to be honest with you, I think that if given the rope to go, I think we have a really bright economic future in North America. I think Canada and Mexico will benefit greatly by what the Trump administration is trying to lay forward. The more pressure on the U.S. manufacturing and U.S. spending will peel out to Canada and Mexico for labor and for manufacturing. It'll also bleed into Europe for tourism, because the more money Americans make, the more they travel. The more they travel, the better the economy. And David, on that note, I'm going to cut out with you and say, be smart, guys. It's not what you make, it's what you save. Be prudent. You don't have to have something bigger than your neighbor. And number three, just be happy. Enjoy what you do. Money makes the world go round. Money is a tool. Cherish it. You only get so many tools in a lifetime. David, wrap it up.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I got to put that on a mug. Listen, we're not financial advisors. I'm not a financial advisor. Stuart is. You want to contact Stuart for financial advice, please do. All we're saying is we're looking at the politics. We're looking at the geopolitics. When it comes up to the stock market, you got to pay attention. And I think the Donald Trump effect will have a positive effect. As a Canadian, Stuart, I got to tell you, people are petrified. Honestly, people are petrified of tariffs and this and that. And I keep telling people, slow down. Growth is there. There's an extraordinary opportunity for growth. And if you take the opportunity now, do it. With that, folks, that's our week. We're done. Friday, we want to go and have a good weekend. So we want to wish you all the best on this, folks. We'll hope to see you again Monday and Wednesday and Friday, because we broadcast on noon Eastern, this unedited, edition of the Rant Network. Follow us on the social, subscribe on YouTube, folks. Please share us with 5 people. Please. We're asking you this. Go tell 5 people, okay, about the Rant Network. Share it with them. Let them listen. We love to get your feedback. And with that, folks, we want to